Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Just wanted to share with you, it's still game related, it's not a game, but this book that I've just received through the post. It's the SNK Neo Geo visual history book. Been after this for quite some time, but as most things here in Australia, just difficult to actually obtain. But there was a seller on eBay selling these books, and I thought I would snap one up. But there we have on the front of the cover, really good artwork. Love anything to do with SNK and Neo Geo, as you guys know. If we go on to the back, got some more artwork. It says there, a bit of information. And that's the recommended retail price, that's in English pounds. I probably paid a bit more than that because I'm in Australia, so paid Australian dollars for it. But let's get this open and have a look inside. Okay guys, just spent 20 minutes or so getting the shrink wrap off of the book. They do package these things up quite well. Same with DVDs and Blu-rays and games. It often takes me hours to get that that shrink wrap off. But as we can see, here's the back. As I've already shown you guys. There's the front. Yeah, really nice lettering, really nice presentation, hardback. It's great. So let's have a look inside. Good quality paper. So okay, it tells you here about the just the brief history of SNK and the Neo Geo. The early years, 1973 to 1989. Tells you how SNK was developed and created as a company. We're just going to have, this is just meant to be a quick flick through this book, guys. Just to give you a rough idea. Really good. Just gives you a bit of brief information about each of the games. But these are the early games. So that was the pre-Neo Geo years and a little bit of information and history of the games. And then you've got the Neo Geo years, which is 1990 to 2004. So it had a real long lifespan, to be honest with you. And I absolutely love the Neo Geo. It's got the information here about it. Then inside, you've got the... I've always liked this MVS cab, this release of it. I mean, I've always been used to the big red arcade, and the one that I have here that I own in Australia, which is based on the red design. But I do actually like this original design. It is just like one of the Japanese candy cabs, and I have a Sega Astro City, and that reminds me of that. The Neo Geo AES at the top there. The red design that we've all come to love. Here we have the Neo Geo AES games, the shop boxes. Oh, these are actually the cartoon box games, so these weren't the shop boxes. These were the designed for the Japanese market. They were offered for sale at relaunch of the Neo Geo AES system on July 1991. So I don't have any of the carton boxes. I prefer the shop boxes, just more durable. Again, it's really, really well presented. I'm holding this at an angle, guys, because I've got light reflecting off of the page. So here we have the Neo Geo Pocket. I do have a Neo Geo Pocket boxed, complete little handheld device, pocket colour, and I have a load of games. If you haven't already checked out my collection video of that, please do. That's on my channel. So the Neo Geo Hardware has a tear down of the machine there, which is pretty good. You've got the arcade machine, the candy cab style. There's a table version of it as well. Never ever seen one of those. And here we have the instruction card holders. I do have many of those actually, my MVS games. And that's the machine we all know and love. The big red arcade machine. This gives you more details. Not a lot of writing in the book, throughout the book. It's just a brief description of everything, but that's all right. I'm more of a pictures guy myself. I don't like, generally I really struggle with reading long books. My attention span, my concentration levels just drop. That was a problem with my recent studying, to be honest with you. Don't really like reading unless it's something that really interests me, which obviously this does. Guru Mark of the Wolves. It comes in this green cartridge. If you've seen my my MVS collection video, you'll notice, and you would have seen that I have Guru Mark of the Wolves. Love that game. That was in my arcade cab for a very, very long time. Okay, really goes into detail. Different ways of connecting, RGB SCART, or through the RF, as I like to call it, the antenna aerial connection, which we all had to use back in the day, especially in the UK. You've got the memory cards. I don't actually own a Neo Geo AES memory card, and you can actually, if you do have one, you can actually use them in both the AES home console and the MVS arcade cabinet. So I would like to get one just to test it. You can get some third-party ones that are pretty good, because the original ones obviously have the internal cell battery, coin cell battery, and they just die, and they're soldered, I believe, inside the actual memory card. So if you get one and then it dies, you're going to have to take it apart, which is a bit of a pain in the arse, to be honest with you. So that is one reason why I haven't actually picked one up. But there are third-party ones that people have released, and they don't actually need a battery, so probably get one of those. I don't have one of those joysticks either. I have the traditional AES joystick, and I have the Neogeo CD control pad, which is pretty good. I generally use that more than anything else. Yeah, this one, this control pad, and this is the design they went for the Neo Geo Mini console. For some reason, and if you haven't already checked out my Neo Geo Mini unboxing and extensive review and gameplay, please check that out on my channel. But yeah, they changed the layout of these buttons for some reason, and also never put in the micro switches into the actual joystick itself, which was a bit of a shame. Neo Geo CD. It's the pad and the console. That's one of the Neo Geo or the SNK consoles I've never really invested in, just because I've got the MVS and the AES, which, even though the games are the same on all systems, I do believe that the Neo Geo CD lacks some of the frames in animation. I could have got that wrong there, so don't quote me on that, guys. But yeah, but it's just the load times on the games, unless you get a metal slug, which they're pretty expensive on the Neo Geo CD. The load times can be appalling. Last Blade is one prime example of bad loading on the Neo Geo CD, and because I've got that on the Neo Geo MVS, I don't really need to pick up the CD system for inferior loading times. This is the Hyper Neo Geo 64. As you guys know, if you've been following my channel for a while, I do actually own one of these. I own the fighting motherboard with the 4 fighting games available for it. They also released a two driving games on the system, and that requires a different arcade motherboard. So I haven't picked that up because you need to put it in an arcade cab that where you have the steering wheel and pedals, and I don't actually own one of those. It's a bit of a pain setting it up through a super gun setup, so again, I haven't bothered, only with the fighting games. And you've also got a shooter, Beast Busters, which I would like to get, but that's pretty rare at the moment. Okay, Neo Geo Pocket. Here we have the Neo Geo box art, which I absolutely love. This is NARM 1975, and I have this on the Neo Geo AES console. Mine is the censored version, which if you check out my Neo Geo AES collection video on my channel, they censored all of the artwork with actually a black marker on the box cover art and also on the manual. So this woman, they basically, her bare leg there and a bit of her the top of her chest, they censored with a black marker. So generally, if you see this on the auction sites, or you find a seller that's selling one of these and it's the uncensored version, they call it, without the black marker, they'll generally charge a premium for that. But I've got the censored version. I don't care, to be honest with you. It's just the artwork on the box and the manual. The game is exactly the same. Baseball Stars is brilliant. Ninja Combat I have as well. Cyberlip, that's actually in my MVS cab at the moment. Sengoku, I love the first one. I like the second one. The third one I'm not too keen on. King of the Monsters is one of those games, wrestling game, better in multiplayer, as most games are, but the single player can suffer a little bit from just being too difficult against the computer AI. Burning Fight, it's definitely no Final Fight or no Streets of Rage, but I just love it because of the huge sprites, the scaling where the characters come in from the background into the foreground. SNK love doing that and probably utilise that too much. 2020 Baseball's pretty good. Robo Army I like. Fatal Fury games, brilliant. Mutation Nation, still need to get that for my MVS. It's one that I play extensively on the multi-cart. I do like World Heroes, not as good as or in depth as Street Fighter 2, but then many games aren't. Art of Fighting, I've got a love-hate relationship with Art of Fighting, and that's because I love the huge sprites, I love the scaling in it, but it is so damn difficult. You know, even beating the first two characters is like, I really struggle with it. So I need to dedicate a bit more time to learning just different techniques to be able to beat the game. But yeah, Fatal Fury 2, I have these on the MVS. Some Sengoku 2, Super Sidekicks. I think I have one of the Super Sidekicks games. There were 3 of those released for the system. Sengoku 2 I don't have, but I will pick that one up. Samurai Spirits or Samurai Shodown, classic game, classic fighting series. I still do love the first one. Second one's my favourite, which I think it is most people's favourite in the series. I love 5 Special as well. But fantastic game, one that holds a lot of nostalgia for me. Used to see this in the little independent game store in Essex in the UK, where I was originally from, and we used to go in there and see it running. Knew we could never afford one at home, but when I did eventually pick up an AES system, this was the first game that I picked up for it. Fatal Fury Special, again one of the best in the Fatal Fury series, love it. Art Fighting 2, better than the first one, but I love, there were only 3 Art of Fighting games. I have all 3 of them on the on the MVS. Absolutely love the games, to be honest with you, and I have number 1 and 2 on the AES. Number 3 is a bit expensive. Top Hunter, Aggressors of Dark Combat, great game. I like it. I like the style of it, but again, I haven't dedicated enough time to be any good at it, really. Like a lot of these games. King of Fighters series 94, where it all started. Love that. Samurai Spirits 2, brilliant game. Just go through. Another King of Fighters 95. Samurai Shodown 3. The Real Bout series, where they changed the game graphically. And in my opinion, it definitely improved the game. I prefer the Real Bout series over just the general Fatal Fury original series. Metal Slug, you know, I've played all of those, done gameplay videos of all of the Metal Slug games, running on the Pandora's Box 5, just for convenience on my channel, but I do own all of them on the MVS. I might at some point do some reviews or some gameplay videos running directly on the MVS. Ninja Masters I picked up recently, and I think that's a real underrated game, to be honest with you. I really enjoying playing it. That was in my arcade cab for quite some time. Tag Battle, Kazuna Encounter, Super Tag Battle. This is one that is, I think, it's probably the most expensive game on the Neo Geo AES. If you ever see it for sale, this will be thousands upon thousands. I managed to get a copy some years ago for the MVS in a shop box, pretty cheap, so I actually own that one, which I'm glad about. King of Fighters 97, I've got that on the AES. Blazing Star, absolutely love that game. Can be difficult in places, but that's been in my MVS cab for quite some time. Metal Slug 2, Real Bout 2, Fatal Fury 2, the newcomers, I have that on the MVS. Metal Slug X, King of Fighters 99, Mark of the Wolves, Metal Slug 4, King of Fighters 2002. I've actually got this, I think, on Xbox as well, or PlayStation, one of those. Samurai Spirits, Samurai Shodown 5, and 5 Special. Now, 5 Special corrected a lot of the shortcomings on Samurai Shodown 5. I think they brought back the fatalities, just made a better game. Now, this on the AES is just unreachable. I mean, we're talking, if you get, I think it's the unfixed version you need, because they did a recall on these games for some reason when it was released, and then they fixed it, so they took a lot of content out. But if you get the unfixed version, that basically commands a premium on the auction sites, and that can go, I've seen it 5, 6, 7,000. But if you get it on the MVS, I think you can get the full kit for about 1,500 Australian dollars. A lot of money still, but it is one that I think I am going to try to pick up. That will be my most expensive game, but I play it on the multi-cart, but I just want it on original. Here we have the Neogeo CD Games. Again, most of the same releases that are on the... oh, that's the Neogeo Pocket there. Yeah, that was the CD. So there we have the Pocket games. I think I've got that one. I've got Baseball Stars as well. I've got these two. So check out my collection video. I've got both of those as well. Not all my games are in the little clamshell cases, but I do prefer those. Here we have the character and concept art. It makes me want to get out my sketch pad and my pencil and actually do a few of these. I used to be quite an artist back in the day. It runs in my family. My two brothers are illustrators and graphic designers. I've got 3 children. They all draw. They've all picked up a pencil and can just draw naturally. So it's definitely something that you pass down in your genes. My granddad was an artist, so yeah, it's weird. We could all just pick up a pencil and we could all draw to a decent standard. I'd probably be absolute dog shite now because I haven't picked up a pencil and paper in ages, but I love all of this. Absolutely love it. It's just brilliant. The character development. They really, really do go into a lot of detail. It's fantastic. For a collector, which I class myself as a collector and a casual gamer, obviously I love Neo Geo, as you guys have guessed, and SNK. That's definitely my number one system of all time, without a shadow of a doubt. Close second now, a few months ago would have been the Sega Genesis or the Sega Mega Drive. It's definitely now the PC Engine. TurboGrafx 16 is my second favourite system. Will never overtake Neo Geo though. It's one of those things, one of those machines that I just absolutely love. Magician Lord. Super Spy. Super Spy. I'll cover that up for my younger viewers. I don't want you seeing any inappropriate detail or the video being flagged. Burning Fight, again, love it or hate it game, but I do generally love it. It's no Streets of Rage or Streets of Rage 2, which is my favourite in the series, but if I'm going to play a side-scrolling beat 'em up on the Neo Geo, it will be Burning Fight. Robo Army. We're on page 225 so far, guys. It's just fantastic. It's just absolutely fantastic. Incidentally, guys, if you're a fan of all these retro games, which if you're watching this video, you obviously are, there's a Japanese anime series that's currently on Netflix called High Score Girl or High Score Gal, and it's dubbed into English. There's not subtitles and everything. So, but it's based on, I suppose it's like a love story anime series. These two kids that hate each other at first because they're rivals and competitors on the computer games, but then they become really close and everything, and are really fond of each other, take a liking to each other. But it's the main point of the cartoon series is to showcase all these retro arcade games that you may not have seen. And if you're a fan of all these retro games like the SNK, the TurboGrafx 16 or PC Engine, you know, you will notice and recognise a lot of these games that are playing. They've got the Japanese candy cabs on there. I watched an episode last night. There was this Sega Astro City on there, and they were playing games on it, and it's just brilliant. If you're a fan of the retro games, you'll love the series. They give you little points and tips on techniques to be good at the games. Most of them are fighters, like the Street Fighter 2 they focus on. And they give you little techniques like how to spam Guile's, I think they call it turtle technique or something, where you can just pretty much make yourself unstoppable and unbeatable in the game. Yeah, it's just great. If you're a fan of these retro arcade games and retro console gaming, it's just brilliant, and I highly recommend it. That's on Netflix. But thank you to Brothers Forge Gaming. They've got an awesome gaming channel. Those two brothers, those guys, they make some awesome videos. So if you haven't already, please check out their channel. But yeah, thanks a lot for suggesting that Japanese anime series to me. Absolutely loving it at the moment. So cheers for that, guys. The best golf game on the Neo Geo, and one of the best games, could be argued one of the best golf games on all systems. Neo Turf Masters, love that. I've got that on the Neo Geo Pocket as well. Little slug. Trying to get the lights changed in the room for some reason, trying to get it so that it doesn't shine on the page. Just tilt it a little bit. Samurai Shodown 5, I believe that is. Bigger, badder, better. Always remember that. The dog tag, and there was some dog tag games as well, some of the AES releases. And again, those games, the dog tag ones, command a much higher price for some reason. They're more just appealing to collectors. And it's got the magazines there and the books available. This is really well put together, in my opinion, guys. It really is. Lots of information here. I'm looking forward to just sitting down in the evenings. My studies are virtually finished, so apologies, guys, for not having any videos recently on my channel. I've been trying to finish a master's degree for quite some time, and I had my research dissertation that was due in, so I had to focus on that, and I knew that I couldn't be dealing with the distraction, which is a nice distraction, but making videos for my YouTube channel, which I really enjoy, more so than the research project and studying, but I just had to be disciplined, and just that is why I haven't done any videos. But that's all in, that's handed in. I've got an exam in a couple of weeks, so I need to just do a bit of preparation for that, but I will, as well as this video, we'll put some other videos on my channel, and then increase that because hopefully I'll have a lot more time. Here we have the Neogeo Artworks section again. King of the Monsters 2, Burning Fight, Robo Army, World Heroes, Fate Fury 2, Samurai Shodown, Samurai Shodown 2. Just goes on and on and on. We're up to page 373. The later years, 2005 to 2017. So it just tells you a bit about what happened to the SNK Corporation. I believe that the SNK, the current SNK, as we know them now, isn't the same SNK that we knew all them years ago, but they are still releasing some quality products. The SNK collection on the PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch was absolutely superb in my opinion. Real good package, and they've done bundles of games as well, which are available on the PlayStation Store, I know for definite. There we have the inside PCBs, the circuit boards. Generally in the cartridges, the Neo Geo AES and the MVS cartridges, you open them up, which I've never opened up an AES one because they're a bit of a pain, don't want to damage it, but I almost certainly always open up the MVS cartridges whenever I buy one, just to check that the boards are legitimate and they're authentic and not fakes. And the way to test that is there's a website called mvsscans.com, I believe. You go on that and it's got scans of all the genuine, legitimate MVS boards in each cartridge for each game. So you just, when you get your game through, so for example, I got through Ninja Masters recently, opened it up, it's just 4 screws, open up the cartridge, take the boards out. There's top board and bottom board, one's for graphics, one's for the sound, so I had 2 separate boards, which is absolutely amazing. I do believe the other consoles, like the Sega Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo, just had 1 combined board for graphics and sound. So yeah, a lot of power, way ahead of its time, the Neo Geo. But yeah, those boards, you then you compare the chips, well I do, on those boards, when I've got them out of the cartridge, to the boards listed, the pictures listed on the MVS Scans site, and I'll know straight away whether they're authentic or whether they're not. And I haven't had a fake one as of yet, so I've been quite lucky really. And there you've got the master game lists for the Hyper Neo Geo 64. 7 games there. I have 4 of them, like I said. I've got the 4 beat 'em ups, but there's 2 racers on there as well. And there's the Beastbusters Second Nightmare. So yeah, the driving games are Round Trip RV and Offbeat Racer. And then you've got the beat 'em ups, Bariki 1, which I quite like, Fatal Fury Wild Ambition, Samurai Spirits 2, and Samurai Spirits, and I have all of those fighting games. Got the Neo Geo Pocket Master list there. And there we've hit 400 pages. Final farewell, the credits, and then the back cover. But that is it, guys. Got my sweaty fingers on there. I just hope that it's really hot in here today, hot and muggy. But yeah, I just hope I haven't put fingerprints all over the pages. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. This was just a quick flick through of this book, just to give you guys an idea of if you're thinking of picking it up yourself. I absolutely love having this. I'm going to treasure this forever. Love anything to do with SNK and Neo Geo. Absolutely fantastic. They've done a really, really good job on this, to be honest with you, in my opinion. I don't think it could have been made any better. They've really thought about collectors and the Neo Geo and SNK gaming fans like myself, and they've created a good product there. But yeah, if you like the video, guys, please hit the like button. If you want to see more on my channel and you like the style of video that I create, then please subscribe for new and future videos. Okay, cheers for watching guys, and I will see you in another video. Cheers guys, bye.